How to use a risk matrix for quantitative risk analysis. Imagine trying to navigate a busy city street without a map or GPS. You might guess your way, but you could also end up lost or stuck in traffic. That's similar to managing risks in a project without a proper tool. Today, we're going to explore how a risk matrix can help you make smarter decisions during project execution and control. A risk matrix is a visual chart that helps project managers see which risks are most serious by looking at two main factors: how likely a risk is to happen and how bad it would be if it did. For quantitative risk analysis, it turns these factors into numbers or percentages. First, you identify potential risks that could affect your project. These could be delays, cost overruns, or technical failures. Then, you assign a number to how likely each risk is to happen. For example, you might rate a risk as a 3 out of 5 if there's a 60% chance it will occur. Next, you rate how severe the impact would be if the risk happens. Maybe a delay could cost your project an extra 10 days or $20,000. You assign a number to that impact as well. Once you have these numbers, you multiply the probability by the impact to get a risk score. For example, if a risk has a probability of 0.6 and an impact score of 50, the risk score is 0.6 times 50, which equals 30. This score helps you see how significant each risk is overall. Now, you plot these risks on a grid with two axes, one for probability and one for impact. The grid is divided into sections, often colored green, yellow, and red. Green means low risk, yellow means medium risk, and red indicates high risk. Risks that fall into the red zone need your immediate attention. Using this visual, you can quickly see which risks could cause the most trouble. You focus your resources on mitigating or avoiding these high-risk issues first. For example, if a risk with a high probability and high impact is identified, you might decide to transfer that risk to an insurance company or change your project plan to avoid it altogether. The risk matrix also helps you communicate risks clearly to your team and stakeholders. Everyone can see which risks are most pressing and track how they change over time. To make this process work well, you need consistent and clear scales for probability and impact. Use historical data or expert opinions to assign these values. Some organizations even extend the matrix into 3 dimensions, adding a third factor like the chance of a consequence happening after the risk occurs. This creates a risk cube for even more detailed analysis. In short, a risk matrix turns complex risk data into a simple visual that guides your decision-making. It helps you prioritize risks, plan responses, and keep your project on track. When used correctly, it becomes a powerful tool to control uncertainties and keep your project moving forward smoothly.